Okay. So, we got bedtime stories.
Which was the second one we watched. And I Believe the Children Are Our Future, which was the first one.
Right. Right, okay.
So the first one was interesting. They set up something that never really went anywhere, it seemed.
Yeah, the biggest hanging chad of the entire series. It's really frustrating.
Yeah. So, because we're on a time crunch, the shortened down version, Sam and Dean go to investigate a weird death. Some chick had gouge marks in her skull. They thought a beast of some kind. No, she, literally just scratched her brains out. Well, she was a babysitter, and the kid she was babysitting put itching powder on her brush.
Right.
Okay?
Accidentally, she didn't know about it. It was a prank.
And then a Stanley,
Mr. Stanley.
an old guy who looked very much like Stan Lee, had one of those shock, you do the handshake and
the joke buzzer
yeah.
things, yeah.
And electrocuted the guy that he was trying to prank.
Yeah.
Didn't mean for it to happen.
Right.
But it did.
Because those things don't actually carry an electric charge as little vibrators.
Mm-hmm.
But this one zapped the guy and killed him.
And then in the hospital, there were some kids that had stomach ulcers from Pop Rocks and Coke.
Right.
There was a guy whose face froze like that.
Like what? Oh, okay.
Froze like that.
Like that. Okay.
That was weird. Dean had a hairy palm.
He was bored and the nurse was hot.
Ew.
His words, not mine.
Leads them to this kid. Home alone, cooking soup.
Yeah.
Whatever. So, turns out this kid is half human, half demon. Mom was virgin, was possessed by a demon.
For 9 months. Just long enough.
She had the baby and then swallowed a bunch of salt because she had enough of her own willpower to do so, and the demon went...
She purged the demon.
Yeah. Baby, she's like, I wanted to kill it, but God help me, I couldn't do that, so she set the kid up for adoption. They call Cass. It's like, oh, you gotta kill the kid.
Kill the kid.
Kill the kid. And Sam and Dean are like, we do some shit, but no.
But no.
The mom gets possessed again. Showdown. Kid's really powerful. There's the whole, they're lying to you.
Well, the kid turns... Because Cass tries to kill the kid himself.
And, it turns Cass into a toy.
Turns Cass into an action figure.
Loki, you want that action figure. So there's the demon-possessed biological mom. They're lying to you, everyone's lying to you. You're powerful. Come with us, blah, blah, blah. Because apparently, so Cass, and that, okay, so that's the crux of the whole matter, is Cass said that this kid was the Antichrist. So I was like, it's the son of Lucifer. He's like, no, he's the son of a demon. But they touched on spawn of Lucifer.
Right.
Which that was interesting because obviously that was a plot line that they eventually followed.
They did. Now, it wasn't
Jack.
this kid. They never addressed this kid again.
Because the kid didn't die.
Kid didn't die.
Because they eventually, like, after he got rid of the demon, basically by just saying, get out of her, go away. And it did, because he's that powerful. Sam and Dean are talking to him. You know, really good job of talking to him.
Yeah.
Like, you're powerful, and there's this war between the angels and demons, and you know, we could use your help. You know, come with us. Bobby's in a wheelchair, but stay with Bobby. We'll train you up. Blah blah blah. And then he's like, oh, I don't want to fight.
Right.
But and he's like, they tell him, it's your choice. You have a choice to make. But just know that your parents are going to be in danger. Because the demons are going to be coming after you full force. And they know where you are now. She's like, okay, let me just go say goodbye to my parents. So he opens the door. Weird bedroom doors, by the way. It was like a hospital sort of thing.
Yeah, what kind of in-house interior doors, bedroom doors have, like, the
patient.
fogged glass
That was weird. That's kind of creepy, actually. So he opens the door, sees him sleeping, doesn't say anything, doesn't do anything, closes the door, goes into his room, lays on his bed, sits up, sees his poster of Australia. Cut to Sam and Dean. They're like,
he's been a while.
Yeah. So go up into his room.
He's gone.
Then there's Cass. You know, he left. He's set. Everyone who is still alive has been set right.
Right.
He did that. The kid, Jesse, did that. Set everything right. And then disappeared. He's so powerful, we won't be able to find him unless he wants to be found. Which sets it up for a possible further plot line, which they never addressed again.
Yeah, we theorized that it might be brought up in the last few episodes. Never happened. It was never brought up again.
It was a good episode, and so it's kind of a bummer that it never went anywhere.
Yeah. He was a Jack stereotype. He was
prototype.
Prototype, thank you. Yes, absolutely. He was set up as what Jack ended up being. Antichrist.
The Antichrist. Not
right. They spoke about him as the son of Lucifer, and they're like, no, he's the son of a demon. Jack actually was the son of Lucifer.
Super powerful.
Yeah, he had... It's almost like they were preparing for what they ended up doing with Jack, but too early.
It's interesting because, and this is early Cass.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, oh, you've got to kill him. And he's the one that sets up the whole, spawn of a demon, spawn of Satan kind of thing. But then he ends up being Jack's
father figure.
Yeah. So, the son of Lucifer's father figure. So that was really interesting.
Yeah.
So it was a little frustrating that they never went anywhere. But at the same time, with all of the plot lines that they had going, I like what they ended up doing with Jack and everything.
Yeah, me too.
But, yeah, that one has just been left hanging.
That episode's got to be the most frustrating thing in all of Supernatural lore. Just like... Because, again, he was Jack.
Yeah. Jesse,
Jack, yeah.
And never finding out, like, not even getting a throwaway line about
Oh,
what
he
happened
died.
to him.
Like, nothing. They completely wiped it from the plot.
The rest of the... Yeah. So, who knows? But then, because the whole episode kind of revolved around urban legends and stuff, we decided to revisit Bedtime Stories, which was the fairy tale episode, which I thought was much later in the series, but it was actually season 3.
Yeah.
I did not remember it being that early, but again, short version. Three portly guys who are brothers arguing about the best way to build houses.
They were construction workers.
Yeah, the wood was, warped, and what would you do? Cinder blocks, and did you hear that? No, wolf, what? Three Little Pigs.
Yeah.
Then there was...
And the first 2 brothers get killed, and the last brother hides behind cinder blocks.
And lives,
yeah. It was nice. I liked it.
Yeah. Then you had the couple that was lost while hiking in the woods, come upon a house with a little old lady living in it, and
With the pie on the windowsill.
Mm-hmm. Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah.
She goes all cannibal.
Ish. We don't know what her ultimate plan was. But basically she drugs them, and as they're falling to the ground, she pulls out a knife and stabs the ever-loving out of the guy.
Yeah. But the wife hadn't had as much pie. She was fine.
She was able to knock the old lady down and run away.
She told the Winchesters that she saw a little girl.
Right.
Dark hair, pale white skin. And she's wearing red ribbon in her hair, white dress with a red sash, so Snow White. There was a Cinderella reference, which I didn't really go too far into, like pumpkin on the porch,
right?
A mouse running across the porch. There was a frog, which they never went anywhere with the frog.
Yeah, they were just laying the groundwork to be like, there's some fairy tale stuff going on.
Yeah,
it's basically why they did that.
Yeah, so Cinderella, the woman was chained to an oven. She's like, my stepmother went crazy and beat me and chained me up. She was fine, but through all this, the doctor that had been treating all these people, he has a daughter who had drank bleach and fell into a coma. She was still alive. His wife, her stepmother, found her. The wife had died like a year previous.
Was the stepmother of this girl.
Yep. Solid call out, by the way. When Sam and Dean kind of started piecing things together, and Sam was like, well, because in the Cinderella house, Dean saw the girl and she disappeared, but then there was an apple.
Right, yeah.
So, it's Snow White, poisoned by her stepmother. The evil queen. Regina. Long live Regina. The Once Upon a Time reference, so.
Had to.
Yeah. Oh, so they're like, okay, so her mom was the one that poisoned her.
Right.
And Dean pulls out Misha Barton.
Like,
what? Oh, Sixth Sense Misha Barton, not
the OC.
Not
Misha
the OC
Barton.
Misha Barton. It was like solid reference.
Wow.
Because Misha Barton was the little girl in Sixth Sense who was poisoned by her mother.
The Munchausen syndrome by proxy girl from the Sixth Sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's what that was. Like,
Right, it was the same situation.
yeah, you poison your child or make sure that your child is perpetually sick to get, sympathy and recognition and everything. That's Gypsy Rose Blanchard or...
Right. Yeah.
So, so they figure out what's going on. There's a Little Red Riding Hood thing.
Yeah.
The only important part of that whole thing was the guy, like, when it all ended, he was like, oh, where am I? And Dean was like, about to stab him with the scissors because, he's the hunter.
The huntsman.
No, the huntsman was Snow White.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so the huntsman was Snow White, but the hunter was Little Red Riding Hood.
Got it. Okay.
That was kind of a cool little fight scene with the scissors and everything.
Yeah.
Grandma's gone. Poor Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah, the grandma died.
And the little girl with the red zip-up hoodie. And it's like, oh, poor girl. But Sam convinces or goes to talk to the doctor. The doctor's like, oh, go away. But he busts into the room anyway, and, like, you just have to believe me, there's some weird shit going on. And the doctor's like, so you saw her too.
Right.
So the little girl, Callie, he's like, I'm listening now. Is it true?
She appears to him.
Yeah, in her little girl form, while her current form is comatose on the bed.
Right. 10 years older.
Yeah. Is it true? Did she do that?
Yes.
He's like,
you have to stop.
You have to stop hurting people. I know now. I know everything.
Yeah.
It's okay. And then she dies.
Sad.
I would have liked a little more emotion from IFT.
Yes. The doctor was played by Ted from Breaking Bad. IFT, I fuck Ted. Yes.
But as a parent, that got me.
Sure.
As a parent of an 8-year-old girl.
Right.
That got me. And throughout this episode, because this is when, the overall plot line of the show at this point is Sam and Dean are arguing because Dean had made the deal with the Crossroads Demon.
Right.
To bring Sam back. So he's on borrowed time. He's going to get dragged away to hell. And watching this post the last episode.
Post finale. Yeah.
Post the finale. It hit hard.
Uh-oh.
It hit different.
Right.
Pardon me. Oh my. Especially because Dean's theme, which, so it was 2008, so it was way before Let It Go, or way before Frozen, the whole Let It Go thing. I mean, if that had just been, 5 or 6 years later,
right,
that's kind of a fun little thing. Obviously, at the time, that wasn't a thing, but
right.
Let It Go. But within the context of the show, Dean trying to convince Sam to let him go.
Yes. Hit way harder after having seen the finale.
Yeah.
Dean telling Sam, let me go. He wasn't dead at that point, but it echoed what ends up happening at the finale. It actually kind of drove home that their characters held steady with their message. There was an overall theme. So, rewatching the show, you're going to go, yeah, Dean was consistent with Sam, let me go. Let me die. When it's my time, and all that. And Sam broke that when he brought him back, and Dean was pissed about it. So it all kind of fit really well.
But Sam wasn't the one that brought him back.
True. Right.
That was Cass. Oh, and this episode was pre-Cass.
Right. Yeah, it was. The first one I watched tonight was
Post,
but it was old school Cass. It was
not fun Cass.
not fun Cass. But this one was pre-Cass. Yeah. So it was a nice character intertie.
Yeah. Then, the end of the episode is the overall story arc. He summons the Crossroad Demon that Dean had made the deal with. Sam summoned the demon that Dean made the deal with. And he's got, like, the cult that Ruby, like OG blonde Ruby, helped him make. And it's like, break the deal. I live, Sam lives, you live, or I'm gonna kill you. She's like, I'm just a saleswoman.
Yeah, I don't have that power.
I don't hold the contract. He holds the contract. Well, who is he? I can't tell you.
That.
So he kills her. But that was Crowley. So that was our first introduction to Crowley.
Before meeting Crowley. But yeah, that was... Yeah.
King of the Crossroads.
Some nice world building there. Character development for early Crowley, who we hadn't met yet. But do we meet him by the end of the season?
I don't know. There's a lot.
Yeah. No, season 3. I don't think so. I might be wrong. But yeah.
Yeah. So good times.
Yeah. Fun episodes. Frustrating the whole bedtime stories. No.
Children are our future.
Children are our future. Yeah, that episode is very frustrating that nothing ends up happening from it, even though it preps you for Jack, but it doesn't fit because he doesn't become Jack. He's just forgotten. Like, this ultra powerful kid, son of a demon, he's clearly the precursor to Jack, but they just never go back to it or reference
And there really wasn't room for it with all the other overall plot stories they had to tell. It would have been kind of cool to maybe, like, I mean, you figure at that point the kid...
10 years older.
Like 19, 20. Having that character come back, probably even that actor would have worked out time-wise. That could have been kind of cool. But I'm glad they didn't do it because it was such a weird one-off thing.
Yeah.
That I think it would have been a little confusing.
Yeah, because it was a good world building episode, but the fact that they didn't have any episodes after that build onto it, it would have been a really weird, out of left field kind of thing to bring him back at that point.
Much like the random vampire that they brought back in the very last episode.
True, but that was a cameo. That wasn't important.
No. Side note. In the last episode, before the COVID break, that Destiny's Children or whatever it was, they had Ruby and
Right, yeah.
the angel chick, Jared Padalecki's wife and Jensen Ackles' wife.
Right, yeah.
Nothing ever came of that.
Yeah. Oddly enough. Makes you wonder if they were planning something different before COVID.
Yeah. It was kind of the same thing. They just kind of left it hanging.
Yeah.
And there was no resolution to that whatsoever. And I
Yeah.
can't even exactly remember what it was. Like, they were going to work together to do something, I think. Right. But yeah, absolutely nothing came of that. So.
Yeah. Anyway, good times. Good.